Okay, so let me lower that. I'm recording this. I tried to go live, but apparently I can't go live yet. I wonder if they require you to have 500 subscribers now. It used to be 100, but I think it might be 500. I have to check into that. So I'm just going to record it and then, release it. So right here we have what the Netanyahu is going to be speaking to Congress. I have the stream from Reuters up there, and maybe I should find another stream to put up here. But I only have one. I only have two streams up here. But it's going to be interesting what he has to say. But, yeah. I mean, he's a war criminal. He shouldn't be there. I mean, he's just going to basically pump up his country as being the most moral country, most moral army in the world. That shit is not true. They are not moral in any way, shape, or form. But, yeah. We are going to go through it and listen to it. And it's 11 o'clock, so I started my recording right at 11 o'clock. And so, hopefully, they start relatively soon. But I do have the volume up a little bit on the protest. Maybe I should make that in the background, just across the screen. What do you think? Let's do that. Maybe that. How about that? Yeah. Okay. At least fills it up better. It is good that so many Democrats did not show up to this and were highly against it. Rashid Tlaib, obviously, I don't think she decided whether or not she was going to go or not. So we'll see if she's going to be there. I mean, I don't want to put her through trauma, but if she was going to be so inclined, I hope she shows up with her keffiyeh and stares him dead in the fucking eye. We'll see. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous that he was invited to come to Congress at all. I mean, this is the first time. Bernie Sanders had a speech yesterday in Congress on the congressional floor, and he talked about how this is the first time in history we're going to have a war criminal come to speak to us in, I almost said Parliament, wrong country, talk to us in Congress. And it's quite despicable that we find ourselves here. And I know there's a lot of people out there that think it's unsalvageable. I don't believe that. I don't believe that yet. I think the Democratic Party is salvageable, but we really have to work hard. And I think in order to salvage that party, we need to hold their feet to the fire and not back down from that. If they promise something, push them to do it. We will not take your false promises. We will not accept you not doing the will of the people, regardless of who's funding you. So I think that is going to be, and obviously we need to do that at the state level as well, and the local, even the city level, the town level, wherever you live. We need to hold our mayors, our governors, and our Congress people accountable. There's a lot of protests. I'm so glad to see it. Like, I'm in Washington State, so I'm across the country. I'm not in Washington, D.C. but I'm glad all these people showed up to protest this. That's good. We need to end the aid to Israel. That's 100% true. They do not deserve our money. We do not need to spend our money. And we are heading towards becoming a fascist society. Some people already think we are, and we definitely have elements of it, like a militarized police, our militarized states. It's a problem. It's becoming a huge problem. But I'm probably not going to edit this, so there might be some dead time. But, there's the protest going on in the background, so you can see. And I'll probably have to constantly be adjusting this, and that's fine. Ew. Ugh, that's so gross to see. People applauding this guy. It's really quite disgusting to see this. Shaking his hand, no. And what we should be doing is taking note, who is here? Who the fuck is here? And these people need to be voted out. When are their term limits up? And then start making plans to find people to run against them in the first place. Because we don't need these people in Congress. People that are going to be accepting of him coming, that want a war criminal to come address them. We need that to be not okay. Because it's not okay. It's over here on my big screen too. This guy will go down with the H mustache man of the world. And then a prolonged standing ovation. Disgusting. It's disgusting. It's despicable. And if you find your Congress people here, tell them that this is not okay, and you will not be voting for them again. We have to make sure that our Congress people understand that we do not accept Zionists. We are not openly accepting them, and we will do what we can to get them out of office.
Members of Congress, I now have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel.
There's nothing excellent about him. Nothing excellent about him.
Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Senator Ben Cardin, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Senators, members of Congress, distinguished guests. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the profound honor of addressing this great citadel of democracy for the fourth time. We meet today at a crossroads of history. Our world is in upheaval. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
Yeah, you're the barbarism. You're the barber. You're the barbarian. Not the
It's a
Islamic
clash
states around you.
between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life.
You're glorifying death. You definitely have no sanctity for life for Palestinians.
For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together.
No. Time to get divorced. Because this bitch is crazy. And we need not to support this shit.
Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
You're gonna lose. His economy is currently cratering as we speak.
And my friends, I came to assure you today of one thing. We will win.
You will not win.
Ladies and gentlemen, like December 7th, 1941, and September 11th, 2001, October 7th is a day that will forever live in infamy. It was the Jewish holiday of Simchat Torah. It began as a perfect day, not a cloud in the sky. Thousands of young Israelis were celebrating at an outdoor music festival.
Yeah, which they shouldn't have allowed happen. Because they knew. They
At
knew.
6:29 a.m., his children were still sleeping soundly in their beds
He
in
put his
the
own
towns
people
of
in
Kibbutzim
danger.
next to Gaza.
His own people.
Suddenly, heaven turned into hell. 3,000 Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel.
They're not terrorists.
They butchered 1,200 people from 41
They're
countries.
resistance fighters.
including
And I support
39
that.
Americans.
100%.
Proportionately, compared to our population size, that's like 20 9/11s in one day. And these monsters, they raped women, they beheaded men,
He's talking about his own
they
people
burned
now.
babies alive,
His own people are doing
they
these
killed
things.
parents in front of their
He's
children,
really trying to say it's the other side, but it's him. His people.
and children in front of their parents.
His people are sniping
They
children.
dragged
Sniping.
255 people, both living and dead, into the dark dungeons of Gaza. Israel has already brought home 135 of these hostages, including 7 who were freed.
He
in
doesn't
daring
care about the
rescue
hostages at all.
operations.
He's bombing the hostages. How can he care about that? He's actively bombing those hostages. He couldn't give a shit. Not one shit.
One of those freed hostages, Noor Gamani, is here in the gallery, sitting near my wife Sarah. On the morning,
Fuck Sarah.
of October 7th, the entire world saw Noah's look of desperation as she was violently abducted to Gaza on the back of a motorcycle. I met Noah's mother, Leora, a few months ago. She was dying of cancer. She said to me, Prime Minister,
I do feel bad for anyone that was abducted, but those people that were abducted were treated better
one last time before
than
I
any
die.
Palestinian that's abducted by Israel.
2 months ago, I authorized
They protected them with their
breathtaking commando
lives.
rescue operation. Our special forces,
From the bombs
including a
from
heroic officer
Israel.
named Arnon Zmora, who fell in this battle, rescued Noah and 3 other hostages.
Look at that book he brought with him of his speech. Was it 24 type font?
Noah, I think it's one of the most moving things. When Noah was reunited with her mother Leora, and her mother's last wish came true. Noah, we're so thrilled to have you with us today. Thank you.
Shame on her for being a pawn in his fucked up scheme. I hope one day, when she's older, she'll understand.
Many hostage
He doesn't give a
families
shit.
are also here with us today, including Eliyahu Bibas. Eliyahu Bibas is the grandfather of those 2 beautiful red-headed boys, the Bibas boys, toddlers. And they were taken hostage with their mother and and Eliyahu's son. The entire family was taken hostage. 2 beautiful red-haired children.
What about entire
taken
families
hostage.
you have killed?
What monsters.
Entire
And with
families.
us also
Like
is Iris
100
Chaim,
people all at the same time.
whose
Boom,
son
dead.
Yotam bravely escaped Hamas captivity with 2 other Israelis, and tragically they were killed making their way back to our lines. We have with us also the families of American hostages.
Is he going to talk about how many hostages
They're
the IDF has killed? You know? No, he won't. You know he won't. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about them. He cares about only himself. He's a very, very
The pain these
egotistical,
families have endured
narcissistic man.
is beyond words. I met with them again yesterday, and I promised them this. I will not rest until all their loved ones are home. All of them.
Yet, 2 days after Hamas had taken a bunch of people, they were like, yeah, we want you to take these people back. And guess who refused? Netanyahu. He refused
As
to take
we
his own
speak,
people back.
We're actively
Remember
engaged
that as he talks
in
about these
intensive
hostages.
efforts to secure their release, and I'm confident that these efforts can succeed. Some of them are taking place right now. I want to thank President Biden for his tireless efforts on behalf of the hostages and for his efforts to the hostage families as well.
And as he's addressing Congress, they're probably bombing Gaza, killing more people. People are starving to
I
death
thank President Biden for his heartfelt support
because he
for
won't let
Israel.
aid in.
After the savage
won't
attack
let
on October
aid in.
7th, he rightly called Hamas sheer evil.
No, that's
He
you.
dispatched 2
That's
aircraft
you.
carriers to the Middle East
You're
to
sheer
deter a
evil.
wider war. And he came to Israel to stand with us during our darkest hour, a visit that will never be forgotten.
You're right. It will never be forgotten. That's when we know Biden sold his fucking soul.
President Biden and I have known each other for over 40 years. I want to thank him for half a century of friendship to Israel and for being, as he says, a proud Zionist. Actually, he says a proud Irish American Zionist.
Gross. Zionism is racism. It's bad in all its forms.
My friends, for more than 9 months, Israel's soldiers have shown boundless courage. With us today,
Stop applauding this asshole.
with us today is Lieutenant Avichai Reuven. Avichai is an officer in the Israeli paratroopers. His family immigrated to Israel from Ethiopia. In the early hours of October 7th, Avichai heard the news of Hamas's bloody rampage. He put on his uniform, grabbed his rifle, but he didn't have a car. So he ran 8 miles to the front lines of Gaza to defend his people.
Can't have a white supremacist without a token. It's sick. It's sick.
You hear that right?
The right
He ran
loves to do
8
that,
miles,
tokenize people.
came to the front lines,
So do Democrats
many
sometimes, so
terrorists,
there's that.
and saved many, many lives. Avichai, we all honor your remarkable heroism. Another Israeli is with us here today, and he's stand up right next to Avichai. This is Master Sergeant Ashraf al-Bakhiri. Ashraf is a Bedouin soldier from the Israeli Muslim community of Raat. On October 7th, Ashraf too killed many terrorists. First he defended his comrades in the military base, and he then rushed to defend the neighboring communities, including the devastated community of Kibbutz Be'eri. Like Ashraf, the Muslim soldiers of the IDF fought alongside their Jewish, Druze, Christian, and other comrades in arms.
If you want to know what
with
really
tremendous
happened on
bravery.
October 7th, Al Jazeera did a really good documentary on that. Based on troves of information, some of it even from the IDF themselves. Well, thanks for the camera angle, readers.
A third hero, Lieutenant Asa Sofer, is also here with us. Asa fought as an officer in the Tank Corps, and he was wounded in battle. He was wounded in battle while protecting his fellow soldiers from a grenade. He lost his right arm and the vision in his left eye. He's recovering, and incredibly, within a short time, Asa will soon return to active duty as a commander of a tank company.
All the injuries his own people have sustained is all on him. All on him. Because October 7th did not happen in a vacuum. Israel has been
I just learned
occupying
there is a fourth hero here,
Palestinians
Lieutenant
for over
Jonathan
50
Jonathan
years.
Ben Chamo, who lost a leg in Gaza and continued to fight.
They displaced 750,000 people in 1948 and the Nakba. They're not allowed to talk about the Nakba in Israel. Like, it's not allowed. Why is that not allowed? Ask yourself that. If you're a Zionist and you're watching this, Ask yourself why they don't want you to talk about it. The only time a government doesn't want you to talk about something is if
My friends,
it's true.
these are the soldiers of Israel, unbowed, undaunted, unafraid.
No props to the
As the
IDF
Bible
that has
says,
been murdering people. Just
Am
carte
Kilavi
blanche.
They shall rise like lions. They have risen like lions. The lions of Judah, the lions of Israel.
The Zionists that are counter-protesting up above. Gross.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the IDF come from every corner of Israeli society, every ethnicity, every color, every creed, left and right,
It doesn't
religious
matter.
and secular.
Zionist is bad.
All are imbued with the indomitable spirit of the Maccabees, the legendary Jewish warriors of antiquity. With us today is Yechiel Leiter, the father of one of those Maccabees. Yechiel's father escaped the Holocaust and found refuge in America. As a young man, Yechiel moved to Israel and raised a family of 8 children. He named his eldest son, Moshe, after his late father. Moshe became an exemplary officer in one of our elite commando units. He served with distinction for 2 decades while raising 6 beautiful children of his own.
Fun fact, when
On
Israel
October
was
7th,
being
Moshe volunteered
invented,
to return to combat.
they did not want Holocaust
weeks
survivors
He was killed
because
when a booby-trapped mine
they
exploded in a
didn't
tunnel
want
shaft
people
right next
that
to a mosque.
were
At his son's
against,
funeral,
that were involved
Yechiel
in
said
one
this:
genocide to
if
be
the state
against
of Israel
another.
had not been established after the Holocaust, the image
I
engraved
mean, obviously
in our
there are
collective memory
Holocaust survivors that
would
live
have
in
been the
Israel,
photograph
but the vast
of that
majority of
helpless
them
Jewish boy in the
do
Warsaw
not.
ghetto, holding his hands up in the air with
And the fact
Nazi
that they didn't
rifles
want them
pointed at
there,
him.
that's
But
telling.
because of the birth of Israel, Yechiel continued, because of the courage of soldiers like my son Moshe, the Jewish people are no longer helpless in the face of our enemies.
They're not helpless. They're the aggressor. They've manufactured this. The Palestinians were not their enemies. They manufactured that. All of this has been manufactured by
Yechiel,
Israel, by people
Yechiel, please rise
like
so we can
him.
honor your son's sacrifice.
for a long
And I
time.
pledge to you,
We need to
and to all
recognize
the
that.
bereaved families of Israel, some of whom are in this hall today, the
And it's
sacrifice
disgusting
of your
how
loved
many
ones
people
will
are
not
okay with
be
genocide.
in vain.
That's disgusting. And I'm not even monetized yet, so I can probably say whatever I want to an extent.
It will not be in vain,
History will not look kindly upon
because
these
for
people.
Israel, never again must never be an empty
the president
promise.
doesn't.
It must always remain a sacred vow. And after October 7th, never again is now.
Fuck you. Never again applies to every human, not just Jewish people, not just Zionists. And Zionists, to be absolutely clear, are not Jewish necessarily.
My friends, defeating our brutal
Most
enemies
Zionists are Christian.
requires both courage
Christian.
and clarity. Clarity begins by knowing the difference between good and evil.
Oh, you
Yet
don't know that?
incredibly, many anti-Israel protesters, many choose to stand with evil.
No.
They stand with Hamas. They stand with rapists and murderers. They stand with people who came into the kibbutzim.
No, that's you. You're the
Into a
rapists
home?
and you're the murderers.
The parents hid the children, the 2 babies, in the attic, in a secret attic. They murdered the families, the parents. They found the secret latch to the hidden attic, and then they murder the babies. These protesters stand with them. They should be ashamed of themselves.
There was one baby that died. One. And it was from an explosion. It was from, like, a door being blown in. It wasn't like... It was an unintentional murder of a baby. And yes, people died. But here's the problem. You cannot oppress people for that long and not expecting armed resistance. You just can't. That is what's going to happen every single time. And that's really what I want this country not to devolve to. That we end up having to do an armed resistance against our government. I don't want that for us.
They refuse to make the simple
I want us to be able to get past that without doing that. To make things better for everyone.
Civilians, between the democratic state of Israel
so we have a
and
choice.
The terrorist thugs of Hamas. We recently learned from the National Security Director
and the longer we stand with this guy, with this war criminal,
Iran is funding and promoting
the more
anti-Israel protests in America.
We are to devolve into that kind of a society.
So these protesters burn American flags even on the 4th of July.
That is our constitutional right
to
burn our own flag if we would like.
Who protected the American flag against these anti-Israel protesters.
Because we don't want to fund your war crimes. We don't want to fund your wholesale slaughter of innocent people.
For all we know, Iran is funding the anti-Israel protests that are going on right now outside this building. Not that many, but they're there and throughout the city. Well, I have a message for these protesters. When the tyrants of Tehran, who hang gays from cranes and murder women for not covering their hair, are praising, promoting, and funding you, you have officially become
That's a lie. That's a lie. Iran is not funding protesters. That's a lie. It's just a straight up lie. He has no like legitimate. He has no evidence. Like not illegitimate or otherwise. He has zero evidence of this. He has zero evidence of anything he claims. Zero. And there's lots of evidence of the
some of these protesters
opposite of a lot of things he claims.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Because even gay people do not deserve to die. Well, not even, but gay people don't deserve to die, even if they are Palestinian and they don't accept people being gay.
Don't have a clue what river and what sea they're talking about.
Oh, but also in Israel, you can't get married if you're gay. You can be married somewhere else and come back, and they'll recognize it, but you cannot actually get married in Israel if you're gay. So fuck them.
Don't they know that the land of Israel is where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob prayed, where Isaiah and Jeremiah preached, and where David
fuck
and
your
Solomon
religion
ruled?
And shove it up your ass. He doesn't care about any of it anyway. It's always these people that claim to be so religious that are the least religious out of everyone.
For nearly 4,000 years,
like they use it as a weapon.
The land of Israel has been the homeland of the Jewish people. It's always been our home. It will always be our home.
That is incorrect. You don't get to come back after 3,000 years and say, bitches, this is ours. You just don't. I'm sorry.
It's not only the campus protesters who get it wrong. It's also the people who run those campuses. 80 years after the Holocaust, the presidents of Harvard,
he uses the Holocaust as a weapon against people.
My alma mater, MIT,
it's gross.
Couldn't bring themselves to condemn
and survivors of the
calls for
Holocaust
genocide
rebuke
of
this.
Jews. You remember what they said? They said, it depends on the context. Well, let me give these befuddled academics a little context.
What, your lies?
Anti-Semitism is the world's oldest hatred. For centuries, the massacre of Jews was always preceded by wild accusations. We were accused of everything from poisoning wells, to spreading plagues, to using the blood of slaughtered children to bake Passover matzahs. These preposterous anti-Semitic lies led to persecution, mass murder, and ultimately to history's worst genocide, the Holocaust. Now, just as malicious lies were leveled for centuries at the Jewish people, malicious lies are now being leveled at the Jewish state.
It's not lies.
Don't applaud.
You are killing people en masse. Unjustly.
The outrageous slanders that paint Israel as racist and genocidal are
it
meant
is.
to delegitimize Israel, to demonize the Jewish state, and to demonize
He
Jews
legitimizes
everywhere.
the Jewish
And
state.
no wonder we've witnessed an appalling rise of
It's an
anti-Semitism
apartheid state.
in America and
It's
around the
apartheid.
world.
Palestinians
friends,
that live in the West Bank do not have
Whenever
rights. Not
and
the same
wherever
rights.
we see the scourge
That's
of
apartheid.
anti-Semitism, we must unequivocally condemn it and resolutely fight it, without exception.
And it's sad. It's so sad that they became the Schmazis. Like, they're literally acting like Schmazis. They are. And I don't care who says different. That does not equate, and Jewish people hate. Like, Jewish people that are against him hate that he equivocates Zionism with Judaism because they are not equivalent. Judaism is a religion. Zionism is a fucking
come from people who wear fancy silk robes and speak
like
in
political
lofty tones
ideology
about law and justice. Here's the case in point. The prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has shamefully accused Israel of deliberately starving the people of Gaza.
Yeah, he
This
is
utter
deliberately
complete
starving
nonsense.
people.
It's a complete
It's not an
fabrication.
accusation. It's a fact.
Israel has enabled more than 40,000 aid trucks to enter Gaza. That's 500,000 tons of food.
Oh my God,
And that's
they need
more than
400
3,000
trucks a
terrorists
day.
for every
We've let
man,
40 in.
woman, and child in Gaza.
No, they've not let that
If
many
there are
in.
Palestinians in Gaza,
They are
who aren't
starving
getting
them.
enough food, it's not because Israel is blocking it. It's because Hamas is stealing it.
No. Where would they put it? That is the most preposterous claim. Where would they fucking put it? There's no buildings. There's hardly any buildings that are even usable anymore. Where are they hiding it? In their asses? No!
So much for that lie. But here's another. The ICC
Hamas is
prosecutor
not stealing the
accuses
food.
Israel of deliberately targeting civilians.
They're starving too.
What in God's green earth is he talking about? The IDF just dropped millions of flyers, sent millions of text messages.
Oh, we're gonna text you and we're gonna drop paper on you and we're gonna tell you to move and then bomb you immediately.
Out of harm's way. But at the same
How
time,
generous you are.
Hamas does
Fuck
everything
you.
in its power to put Palestinian civilians in harm's way. They fire rockets from schools, from hospitals, from mosques. They even shoot their own people
It's a lie.
when they try to
They're
leave
all
the war
lies.
zone.
That is so he can justify bombing hospitals, schools,
Palestinian women and children
schools, and I mean
excel
every
at being
university
human shields. His
bombed.
words,
They're
excel
all
at
trashed.
being human
Almost
shields.
every hospital is trashed.
Monstrous evil.
He is the monstrous
Israel,
evil.
Every
Him,
civilian
his
death
regime.
is a tragedy.
He stays in power,
For Hamas,
so
it's a strategy.
he doesn't have to face
They
his
actually
consequences.
want Palestinian civilians to die.
He stays in
So that
power,
Israel
so he
will
doesn't
be
have to go
smeared
to
in the
jail.
international media and be
Give me a
pressured
fucking break.
to end the war before it's won. This would enable Hamas to survive another day, and as they vowed, to carry out October 7th again and again and again. Well, I want to assure you, no matter what pressure is brought to bear,
While
I will
they
never
have carried
allow
out
that to happen.
like 10 times that, more than that. It's estimated that 180,000 have been killed.
The vast
It's going to be
majority of
bigger than
Americans
that. We all know
have
that.
not fallen for this Hamas propaganda. They continue to support Israel.
No,
And
the
I wanna
propaganda is
say
coming
thank
out of
you,
Israel.
America, and
All the
thank you, senators
propaganda.
and House members who
All the
continue to
propaganda.
support us
And us.
Continue to support Israel.
We love to give out
the truth and
propaganda
see through
on
the
Israel.
lies. But as for the minority that may have fallen for Hamas's con's job, I suggest you listen to Colonel John Spencer. John Spencer is head of urban warfare studies at West Point. He studied every major urban conflict. I was going to say in modern history. He corrected me, no, in history. Israel, he said, has implemented more precautions to prevent civilian harm than any military in history.
That
and
is so laughable. It's not even at all true. It's not at all true. He's dropped more bombs on Gaza than the Schmazis did. More. Like, get the fuck out of here, guy. Get the fuck out.
That's why, despite all the lies you've heard,
that came out of his mouth,
has one of the lowest ratios of combatants to non-combatants casualties in the history of urban warfare.
the fuck you.
And you want to know where it's lowest in Gaza? It's lowest in Rafah. In Rafah. Remember what so many people said? If Israel goes into Rafah, there'll be thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of civilians killed. Well, last week, I went into Rafah. I visited our troops as they finished fighting Hamas's remaining terrorist battalions. I asked the commander there, how many terrorists did you take out in Rafah? He gave me an exact number, 1,203. I asked him, how
A
many
number he
civilians
pulled
were
out
killed?
of his asshole.
He said, Prime Minister, practically none, with the exception of a single incident where shrapnel from a bomb hit a Hamas weapons depot and unintentionally
They
killed
were
2
sniping
dozen
people in Rafah.
The
Sniping
answer is
children in Rafah.
practically none.
Sniping
You
children.
want to know why? Because Israel got the civilians out of harm's way, something people said we could never do, but we did it.
No, you didn't. Those civilians were forced to move again and again and again, leave all their possessions at a moment's notice. They have less and less things, less and less food, less and less clean water, and
These
now they
heroes
have
here today,
polio
the heroic
virus
soldiers
in
of
their
Israel, should not be
sewage
condemned
areas.
for how they're conducting the war in Gaza.
These people
They
are going to
should
get
be
polio.
commended for it.
They're bringing back polio. It was globally eradicated. Not now. And the IDF have been vaccinating themselves against polio. Tells you something, doesn't it?
I want to thank all of you here today.
It means they recognize polio as a problem, and they don't want their people to get
polio. Stood
polio.
up for the truth.
So they're getting vaccines. But
These
these
lies
poor
are not
people
only libelous,
in Palestine,
they're
in
downright
Gaza,
dangerous.
if they fucking
The ICC
survive,
is trying to shackle Israel's hands and prevent us from defending ourselves. And if Israel's hands are tied, America is next.
oh
I'll
fuck
tell you what else is next.
Take your warmongering and go the
ability
fuck
of all
home.
democracies to fight
No
terrorism
one wants you
will
here.
be
No
impaired.
one, except for our
That's what's on the
depraved
line.
people,
So let me
some of our
assure you,
depraved people in
the hands of the
Congress.
Jewish state will never be shackled. Israel will always defend itself.
They're not shackled. They're the aggressors. They're the ones that have all the power. They are the oppressors. They are the colonizers. They are a war machine that America, the UK, Canada, and Australia
in the Middle East,
fund, and Germany
Iran is
fund.
virtually beyond
Probably more
behind
countries than that, but those are the ones I know of
all the terrorism,
100%.
all the turmoil, all the chaos, all the killing. And that should come as no surprise. When he founded the Islamic Republic, Ayatollah Khomeini pledged, "We will export our revolution to the entire world. We will export the Islamic revolution to the entire world." Now ask yourself, which country ultimately stands in the way of Iran's maniacal plans to impose radical Islam on the world? And the answer is clear. It's America, the guardian of Western civilization and the world's greatest power.
This isn't a war against Islam. Don't let him gaslight you on that. This is not a war against Islam. Islam itself is not the problem.
That's why Iran sees America as its greatest enemy. Last month, we heard
Zionism is the problem.
revealing comment,
That ideology.
ostensibly about the war in Gaza, but
Now they're bombing
about
Yemen.
something else. It came from the
and,
foreign minister of Iran's proxy, Hezbollah, and he said this:
Lebanon.
"This is not a war with
Because
Israel.
they want to take over that area.
Israel," he said,
They're
is
trying to
merely a
get rid
tool.
of people in that area
The
so they
main
can take
war,
it over.
The real war is with America. Iran's regime has been fighting America from the moment it came to power. In 1979,
Yeah, because we've been
it stormed
fucking
the
them
American
over.
embassy. It held scores of Americans hostage for 444 days. Since then, Iran's terrorist proxies have targeted America in the Middle East and beyond.
We are not the good
In
guys.
Beirut,
We are
they
not the
killed
good guys here.
241 U.S. servicemen.
Know that. We
In
are not the
Africa,
good guys.
They bombed American
We
embassies.
could maybe be the good
In
guys
Iraq,
again.
They supplied
Or
explosives
ever.
to
I don't think
maim
we've ever been
and
the good
kill
guys.
thousands
We
of
could be the
American
good guys one
soldiers.
day, but we're not that.
In America,
They're not the good guys
America.
at all.
they actually sent death squads. They sent death squads here to murder a former Secretary of State and a former National Security Advisor.
The IDF is
And
a
as
death
we
squad.
recently learned,
Entire
they
IDF
even
is a death
brazenly
squad.
threatened to assassinate President
That's what
Trump.
they are.
But Iran understands that to truly
Also,
challenge America,
Netanyahu and Israel
first conquer
are
the
safe
Middle East.
haven
and
for
this,
pedophiles, for
it uses its many
pedophiles,
proxies,
PDF files.
including the Houthis, Hezbollah,
So if you're a
and
PDF
Hamas.
file,
Yet
and
in the
you
heart
are
of the Middle East,
Jewish,
standing
you can
in
flee to
Iran's
Israel
way,
for a
is
safe
one
haven.
proud pro-American democracy, my country, the state of Israel. That's why the mobs in Tehran chant death to Israel before they chant death to America. For Iran, Israel is first, America is next. So when Israel fights Hamas, we're fighting Iran. When we
No.
fight Hezbollah,
No, you're not.
we're fighting Iran. When we fight the Houthis, we're fighting Iran. And when we fight Iran, we're fighting the most radical and murderous enemy of the United States of America. And one more thing.
You're the most radical
When
and
Israel
murderous state
acts
of the
to
world
prevent
right
Iran
now.
from developing nuclear weapons that could destroy Israel and threaten every American city, every city that you come from. We're not only protecting ourselves, we're protecting you.
No. No, don't gaslight us into pretending that you're protecting us. You're not. You're using aggression to get your fucking way to take all that land that is not yours.
My friends, if you remember one thing from the speech, remember this. Our enemies are your enemies. Our fight is your fight. And our victory will be your victory.
This is our enemy. Right now, this is our enemy. That is taking our money. And I don't mean Jewish people, I mean Zionists. That's the enemy of democracy. That's the enemy of peace, is Zionism.
Ladies and gentlemen, that victory is in sight. Israel's defeat of Hamas will be a powerful blow to Iran's axis of terror. Another part of that axis, Hezbollah, attacked Israel on October 8th, a day after the Hamas attack.
Good
It
for
has
them.
launched thousands of missiles and drones against us.
Yeah,
80,000
because
of our
they're
citizens
in solidarity
northern
with
Israel
Gaza.
evacuated their homes, becoming effectively refugees in their own land. We are committed to returning them home. We prefer to achieve this
That's
diplomatically.
what happens when
But let me
you
be
fuck
clear.
with people.
Israel will do whatever it must do to restore security to our northern border and return our people safely to their homes.
May they not have the right to return. May they not have the right to return. I absolutely wish that upon them. Because that is what has been lobbied
Last
against.
Friday, a
or
third Iranian
lauded
proxy,
against
the Houthis,
Palestinians.
attacked Tel Aviv.
They've lost
with
their
a deadly
home
drone.
over and over and
It
over
exploded
again,
a
and
few
it's
hundred
disgusting.
feet
That needs to
from
stop.
the American consulate, killing 1 person and injuring 9. On Saturday, I authorized a swift response to that attack. All our enemies should know this. Those who attack Israel will pay a very heavy price. And as we defend ourselves, on all fronts, I know that America has our back. And I thank you for it. All sides of the aisle, thank you.
We need to change that. We need to really put as much pressure as we can on Kamala Harris to not support this shit.
My friends, for decades, America has provided Israel with generous military assistance. And a grateful Israel has provided America with critical intelligence that saved many lives.
They're running out
We've
of
jointly
tanks.
developed
They
some
don't
of
have
the
the
most
tanks they need
sophisticated
in order
weapons on
to
earth.
deal
I
with
choose
their
my words
multiple
carefully.
wars they
We've
have going
jointly
on.
developed some of the most sophisticated weapons on earth that help protect both our countries. And we also help keep Americans' boots off the ground while protecting our shared interests in the Middle East.
Yeah, we don't need boots on the ground over there. Fuck that. Although some of our citizens have gone over there and fought for the IDF, which is gross. Our police, several police stations train with the IDF, which is gross, and we need to stop that shit from happening. We do not want to train with them.
This is an exceptional moment. Fast-tracking U.S. military aid can dramatically expedite an end to the war in Gaza and help prevent a broader war in the Middle East. In World War II, as Britain fought on the front lines of civilization, Winston Churchill appealed to Americans with these famous words: "Give us the tools and we'll finish the job." Today, as Israel fights on the front line of civilization, I too appeal to America. Give us the tools faster and we'll finish the job faster.
You're the barbarian. You're ruining a civilized culture.
My dear friends, the war in Gaza could end tomorrow if Hamas surrenders, disarms, and returns all the hostages.
It could end tomorrow if Netanyahu would just accept a fucking offer. He's rejected all of them. All of them. There's been several. He always blames it on Hamas, and it's not them. It's him.
But if they don't,
him.
Israel will fight until we destroy Hamas's military capabilities, end its rule in Gaza, and bring all our hostages home.
It's so gross, the standing ovation he gets. It's disgusting. It really is. This is going to go down.
That's what total victory means, and we will settle for nothing
really
less.
ugly part of history. Like this whole thing. Funding it, whatever, watching it.
The day after we defeat Hamas, a new Gaza can emerge. My vision for that day
He's
is
going
of
to
a
colonize it.
demilitarized and de-radicalized Gaza. Israel does not seek to resettle Gaza, but for the
Yes, they
foreseeable
do.
future, we
Yeah,
must
he's
retain
lying. He's
overriding
fucking lying.
security control there to prevent the resurgence of terror, to ensure that Gaza never again poses
There's
a threat to Israel.
already developers lined up to make beachfront property for them. He's lying. I'm pretty sure Al Jazeera and I'm pretty sure Haaretz have also
run by Palestinians
reported on that.
who do not seek to destroy Israel. That's not too much to ask. It's a fundamental thing that we have a right to demand and to receive.
He is putting Jewish people in danger no matter where they're at in the world. He's making the anti-Semitism worse all over the world by his actions alone.
In peace with us.
By how depraved the IDF is.
those twin words, demilitarization and de-radicalization, those two concepts.
They don't have a
applied
military.
to Germany and Japan
He
after
has a
World War
military.
II, and that led to decades of peace, prosperity, and security. Following our victory, with the help of regional partners, the demilitarization and de-radicalization of Gaza can also
Who's
lead
going
to
to
a future of
de-radicalize
security, prosperity, and peace.
Israel? Because
That's
it's
my
pretty
vision
fucking
for
radical
Gaza.
to be okay with a genocide. I wish we knew how to wake these people up. I
for the
wish we
broader
could.
Middle East.
Because then it wouldn't happen anymore.
It's also shaped in part by what we saw in the aftermath of World War II. After that war, America forged a security alliance in Europe to counter the growing Soviet threat. Likewise, America and Israel today can forge a security alliance in the Middle East to counter the growing Iranian threat. All countries that are at peace with Israel and all those countries who will make peace with Israel should be invited to join this alliance. We saw a glimpse of that potential alliance on April 14th. Led by the United States, more than half a dozen nations worked alongside Israel to help neutralize hundreds of missiles and drones launched by Iran against us. Thank you, President Biden, for bringing that coalition together.
And Biden is going to address the public.
The new alliance I envision would be a natural extension
at 8
of the
Eastern,
groundbreaking
5 p.m.
Abraham
Pacific.
Accords. Those accords saw peace forged between Israel and 4 Arab
Let's see if you
countries,
can string 2 sentences
and they
together.
were supported by Republicans and Democrats alike.
So fucking glad he's no longer the nominee. So fucking glad.
I have a name for this new alliance.
It's hard to be worse than Joe Biden.
I think we should call it
I
the
really hope
Abraham
Kamala
Alliance.
Harris is so much better on this. She really needs to be better. I'm glad she's
I
not
want to
here. I
thank
know she had to
President
meet with
Trump
him at some
for his
point
leadership in brokering
with
the historic
Biden. I
Abraham
don't even know if she
Accords.
could get out of that, honestly. So I'm not going to hold that against her. I'm just not. Because I don't even think she could get out of that, right?
Like Americans, Israelis were relieved that President Trump emerged safe
And before she
sound
became
from
the
that
nominee, she wasn't going to be
dastardly
here.
attack on him,
She'd already said, no, I'm not
dastardly
going to
attack on
I'm not going to
American
come.
democracy. There is no room for political violence in democracies.
There's a fuck ton of political violence in democracies. I'd say a genocide facilitating that's political violence at its height.
I also want to
That's
thank
like
President Trump
The worst
for
political
all the
violence
things
you
he did
could
for
ever
Israel,
do beyond a
from
nuclear war.
recognizing Israel's sovereignty
There's
over
not
the
much
Golan
worse.
Heights,
Not much worse.
to confronting Iran's aggression, to recognizing Jerusalem as our capital and moving the American embassy there.
Yeah, Trump did that for him. At the behest of, I forgot his first name, but Adelson.
That's Jerusalem,
Paid Trump
our eternal capital,
millions of dollars
never
to
be
move it.
divided again.
That should never have happened. And now they want to move something over to Gaza and occupy.
My dear friends, Democrats and Republicans, despite these times of upheaval, I'm hopeful about the future. I'm hopeful about Israel because my people, the Jewish people, emerged from the depths of hell, from dispossession and genocide. And
Because
against
people are
all
not
odds,
all the Jewish people.
we restored our
That
sovereignty
is not
in our
true.
ancient homeland.
Lots of Jewish people disavow
We
him.
built a powerful and vibrant democracy, a democracy that pushes the
He
boundaries
does
of
not have a
innovation
democracy.
for
He has
the
a militarized
betterment of all
state.
humanity.
He has a fascist state.
I'm hopeful about
It is
America.
fascist.
Because I'm hopeful about Americans. I know how
They
much
are
the
arresting
people of
their
this
own
country
citizens,
have
just like
sacrificed
we
to
are,
defend freedom.
for protesting against what's
America will
happening.
be continued to be
Of
a
course, they're
force for
protesting
light
for
and
the
good in a
release of
dark and
hostages,
dangerous
not
world. For free peoples everywhere.
There's some people that are
America
protesting
remains
the
beacon
abuse of
liberty
Palestinians,
its
but most
extraordinary
aren't.
founders envisioned back in 1776.
We are not the same. Right now we might be, but we need to not be the same.
I'm confident that our two nations will vanquish the tyrants and terrorists who threaten us both. As Israel's Prime Minister, I promise you this: no matter how long it takes, no matter how difficult the road ahead, Israel will not relent, Israel will not bend. We will defend our land. We will defend our people. We will fight until we achieve.
This is not self-defense. This is him staying in power so he doesn't have to face consequences. So he doesn't have to face his corruption charges. I was saying collusion. Corruption charges. His corruption charges are keeping him in office because he will be tried and he will go to prison because he is corrupt.
And we will continue to work with the United States and our Arab partners to transform a troubled region from a backwater of repression, poverty, and war into a thriving oasis of dignity, prosperity, and peace. In this noble mission,
that is not their goal.
Israel
is to destabilize that area. That's their goal.
Indispensable ally.
And look like the fucking victims that they are not. They are the aggressors, not the victims. He is gaslighting the American people. Do not accept that. It's not true.
Through thick and thin, in good times and in bad, Israel will always be your loyal friend and your steadfast partner. On behalf of the people of Israel,
that's one alliance we need to sever.
I came here today to say thank you, America. Thank you for your support and solidarity. Thank you for standing in Israel, with Israel, in our hour of need. Together we shall defend our common civilization. Together we shall secure a brilliant future for both our nations.
There's not going to be a good future for Israel, I can already tell you now. This will not end good for them. This will not end well for them.
May God bless Israel, may God bless America, and may God bless the great alliance between Israel and America forever.
Nothing lasts forever, dude. Nothing lasts forever. And lots of us plan on making sure that that friendship does not stay. Disgusting. Jesus. And like I said, I'm not going to be, what do you call it? I'm not going to, okay, I'm going to turn him off. Well, let's see what happens. I'm really kind of hoping that there's something, would happen. Like, I mean, nothing terrible. But I mean, just protesters coming in, I don't know. But I don't think that's going to happen. There's Ted Cruz. Piece of shit he is. He really is a piece of human garbage. He really is. all these people taking pictures with him. Why? Why would you want that? It's disgusting. Oh, was that Mitch McConnell? Jesus. He's looking not good. We really need to get these older people out. And I'm not being ageist. I'm not, because I'm sorry. Older people have older ideas. We need younger people that are going to be more progressive and be better for us, for all of us, for your grandchildren. People in Congress should be the age of parents, not the age of grandparents. We need younger people. I think 75, if you are 75, you are too old to run for office, of any kind. And we definitely need term limits in Congress. Maybe that would force people that are progressive in Congress to be more forceful with what they're doing. Because by like, oh, okay, I can just win again and try longer. No. Put people's feet to the fire now. Be as progressive as you can. But I feel like all the people in Congress that are quote unquote progressive just kind of fell in line. Like, especially the ones that were backing Biden. Biden is suffering from cognitive decline. Why would you back that? That's fucking weird. And I think it's because they were scared. I think that's because they're scared of change, and I don't care what that is. But it's bullshit. It's straight up bullshit. All right, I think that's really nothing interesting is going to happen. Just picture ops. Let me mute that. So yeah, that was the address to Congress. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's fucking it's so depressing. It's so depressing. Like, it'd be great if Biden's like, all right, I can't, run for Congress, and I'm not Congress. I can't, I'm not running for president anymore. I have nothing to lose. And like jailed Netanyahu. That would be amazing. But that wasn't going to happen because Genocide Joe wouldn't allow that, now would he? I still have it on my screen just in case something happens, but I don't think anything is. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know what you thought. Subscribe.